puck in it and everything in the third period. It wasn't for lack of effort trying, but Florida just seemed like they locked it down and whatever they were trying to do. Did they kind of frustrate your group in the third period?
Yeah, I think they stoked our group. I don't think we stayed on objective. I think if you go to frustrated, we took a lot of penalties in the game. They weren't frustration penalties. They were, but toward the end of the game, if we're looking at specifically the third period, love our compete out of our guys. I mean, our guys played with a chip, and they played hard, and I loved that response. Obviously, they're a good team. I think the real issue today was we started a little bit late as far as the ultra competitiveness. We didn't initiate enough early, but we started to initiate more as the game went along. We responded, which is key, especially with where we're at, being as young as we are. Regaining an identity and the compete, and I loved that response. I thought this was an outstanding game two to have with a level this competitive, and showed a lot out of our guys. It's exactly what we needed, and it's the best way to get better.
John, you were non-competitive against that team a lot of the time last year. I mean, how different? The game in April was obviously last minute, but how different was this game? Like you said, the pushback against Kachuk and the fact you did keep battling through it.
Yeah, lots of signals, Mike, to me that our guys will not settle for not being better than the team across the ice, and I love that. We are very capable. We're young, but to see Darlene and Tuck and just guys elevate and. It's acclimated to another level within the NHL, and our guys are determined to do it. I can't wait to play that team again, and I know that again there's a fire in our guys that's burned hotter every moment in that game. So lots of great opportunity for us to look at that film and see stuff that we left on the table.
What do you do what to expect when Kachuk goes on the ice? How different does he change that team and the whole division? And the fact he's in this division now and everybody's going to deal with him.
Yeah, I don't know if it's. I've had Matthew Kachuk for a couple of years, but it's for us. He's a competitive guy. He's in. When you get ultra competitive guys, you're forced to respond like you are, and. That's the key for us is I think today in times we had to respond, but we have guys that will start initiating now based on now going through something like that. One time pisses them off enough that they won't have to respond. We've got a lot of guys that will be initiating more and more, and that's part of acclimating, getting back into the season, the flow of the regular season. So I loved it. I love it, that we got a lot of guys that are quite pissed off about the outcome of that game. So I'll shift away from any one player and say what it is a collective, surge within our group here to win, and that was evident standing behind the bench for me.
Ron, what level of concern do you have, though, or what can this team take out of the fact that they really shut you down in the third period, limited you to 5 shots?
John, I honestly have no concern. I have 100% confidence in the competitiveness of our guys. That's things that happen tonight just piss them off, and I like that. That's what I like about our group. So, do we have to get better, make improvements, learn from it? Yes, but from the competitive standpoint, I saw nothing but good signs. Signs I'm very comfortable with.
Eric got the move early. Just how big was he early, and how did that allow him to kind of settle into the game?
He was awesome. He was good. Dialed in, competitive again. Things didn't bother him, and he plowed through. So a lot of conviction. Played with conviction, and that shows experience. I mean, he's got a level of experience. Being a little bit older, especially within our group. He's an older guy and more experienced guy, and it showed through today.
Tuck was really going a lot of that game. You got him back up with Skinner and Thompson. We know you're going to shuffle things up, but what were you trying to do in this game, making that move?
Yeah, I think just the way it lined up, matched up, I thought better against certain personnel that was going out against each other. And Tuck was in a groove. Victor was too, and I didn't think Victor's shift into the other line would affect anything negatively. And so I thought it might be a boost to both. And but it was watching rotations, line rotations tonight, pairings on D, to try to see if we could there was something to take advantage of, and didn't mind it. But Tucker was good.
Coach, can you expound on what you expect your power play to look like as far as the season?
It's well, today's, there were some broken power plays. First game there were, we gripped our stick. We're a little frustrated on power plays. That'll all settle in, and it's early. I think the game we played the other day, the power play unit hadn't played in 10 days, and it looked like they hadn't played in 10 days. And then today they fight it against a team that's, for the most part, killers that have been together for quite some time. So it'll be a natural process to get to where they feel good, and that'll happen.
Don, you mentioned the slow start competitively tonight. Kind of the same story we got into a little bit with that Ottawa game Thursday. Just 2 games in the season, how the slow start.
Yeah, I don't think it was a slow start. I don't apologize. I don't mean to cut you off. I don't think it was a slow start. I think they came out and threw their A game. It caught us, with some pressure but the fight and the compete was ready out of the get-go. We just didn't acclimate the pace right away. So I won't say slow start. If it was a slow start, we would have been down by 4 at the end of first. We had to do some things to weather, some pressure by them, but I thought our guys did that pretty darn well in response until we could get to our game. So by no means did I say or intend to say slow start. They pushed pretty hard. We had to reacclimate a bit, but I like some of the things we did, even when we were, felt a little, we weren't as smooth as we needed to be out of the gate.
Thank you.
Yep.